Hi friends, today we're going to review Skills 6, Lesson 6. Let's look at our learning targets. I can read and sort words with tricky spelling C representing the K and S sound. I can read and sort words with spelled C, CE, and SE. I can read Mr. Spencer and the Rabbits and answer questions about key details in the story. I can read and spell one-syllable words containing spelling alternatives for the sounds and Z, and the tricky word here. Turn in your Skills 6 workbook to activity page 6.1 on page 21. Let's read the words in the boxes. If the word contains C representing the K sound as in cat, color the box one color. If the word contains C representing the sound as in scent, color the box another color. The colors I'm going to use are pink and blue. The first word is clip. Clip. I'm going to color this box pink because it has the K sound as in cat. Pencil. Pencil. Am I going to color this box pink or blue? Very good. I'm going to color this box blue because it has the sound. I'm going to say the word. I want you to tell me pink or blue. Card. Very good. Cells. Awesome. Cage. That's right. I hear the K sound. Bouncing. Blue. Scent. That's also blue. Center. I hear the sound. Bobcat. K, k. I hear the K sound. Catch. That's right. Dancer. Amazing. And magic. You betcha. Turn in your Skills 6 workbook to activity pages 6.2 on page 23 and 25. If you have scissors and glue, cut out the words and glue them in the correct boxes. If you do not, just take a pencil and write the words where they belong. Pause the video while you complete this activity. Okay, let's check to see if you got them right. Cell, center, voice is spelled C-E, the sound. Prince has the C-E, twice, C-E, else, S-E, dense, S-E, chance, C-E, house, S-E, horse, S-E, percent, C, dancing, C. Let's look at our learning targets. I can read and sort words with tricky spelling C representing the K and S sound. I can read and sort words with spelled C, CE, and SE. I can read Mr. Spencer and the Rabbits and answer questions about key details in the story. I can read and spell one-syllable words containing spelling alternatives for the sounds S and Z, and the tricky word here. We will start a new reader today about a girl named Grace. Let's look at her name. Her name has the letter C representing the sound, Grace. And remember, A and E work together to represent the A sound. Grace is the main character. She lives on a farm and will take us on adventures on her farm and throughout the country. The Grace Reader contains fictional stories with characters, settings, and plots. The setting for many of the stories is the farm where Grace lives. A farm is a place where people grow crops and raise animals. Farms are usually located in the country, far away from cities. Let's look at our table of contents. What page can we find our story on today? That's right, on page 2. Let's review some spellings. These words have the letter C representing the sound. Grace, Spencer, nice, and race. The next spelling is CE for the sound. We have 2 words, fence and force. The third spelling is SE representing the sound. We have farmhouse and else. The last spelling is R, farm, garden, harvest. You will see these 2-syllable words in the story, eggplants, problems, and hornet. Multi-syllable words will no longer appear with a dot between them. Let's review some key vocabulary. Midwest. Midwest is a region in the middle of the United States. Ripe. If something is ripe, it is ready to be eaten. Harvest. Picks plants to be eaten or sold. If I harvest the plants, I pick them. Makes a living. To make a living means to earn money by doing a job. Mad as a hornet. If someone is mad as a hornet, they are very angry. Let the rabbit be. To let the rabbit be means to leave the rabbit alone. Let's read today's story to learn more about how Grace's dad solves a problem he has with some rabbits. Follow along with me as I read. Mr. Spencer and the Rabbits. Grace Spencer's dad has a farm. Her dad is a farmer out in the Midwest, where the land is flat and the soil is rich. In the spring, Mr. Spencer plants corn next to the farmhouse. All summer long, he takes care of the corn. By the end of the summer, the corn is ripe. Then Mr. Spencer harvests it and sells it. That is how he makes a living. Mr. Spencer has a garden too. In his garden, he plants eggplants, beets, sprouts, and peppers. Mr. Spencer has had some problems with rabbits. They crawl under the fence, hop into his garden, and munch on his plants. When Mr. Spencer sees the rabbits in his garden, he gets mad as a hornet. He shakes his fist and shouts at the rabbits. Grace and her sister Jill like the rabbits. Grace says they are cute. She tells her dad to be nice and let the rabbits be. But Mr. Spencer can't stand those rabbits, and the Spencers need the plants in the garden to feed them in the winter. Last summer, Mr. Spencer got a dog to force the rabbits out of his garden. The dog's name is Pepper. He is a black dog. He sleeps out in the barn. When Pepper came to the farm, he gave the rabbits quite a scare. They were in the garden munching on sprouts. Then Pepper came charging out into the yard, barking. The rabbits took off. They raced back into their hole as fast as they could. Pepper ran to the rabbit hole and went in as far as he could. He started digging with his paws, but it was no use. It was a deep hole, and he could not get down to where the rabbits were. Mr. Spencer was sitting in the living room at the time. He could tell what Pepper was up to. He smiled. "Good dog," he said. "Good dog. I bet those rabbits will munch on sprouts somewhere else next time." Turning your Skill 6 workbook to activity page 6.3 on page 27. Mr. Spencer and the Rabbits. Go ahead and write your name and today's date on this paper. Number 1. What is the land like out in the Midwest? That's right, the land has rich soil. And we read that on page 2. What things are in Mr. Spencer's garden? Mr. Spencer has eggplants, beets, sprouts and peppers in his garden. We found that information on page 2 as well. What is the problem with Mr. Spencer's garden? He has rabbits in his garden. We read that on page 4. Pepper helps Mr. Spencer when What does Pepper do? He barks at the rabbits so they run off. That was on page 6. Now, let's answer a few comprehension questions. Who is Mr. Spencer? Mr. Spencer is a farmer and he's also Grace's dad. What does Mr. Spencer grow in his garden? Mr. Spencer grows eggplants, beets, sprouts, and peppers in the garden. Why does Mr. Spencer get mad at the rabbits? Mr. Spencer gets mad at the rabbits because they hop into his garden and eat his plants. What is Pepper the dog's job? Pepper's job is to keep the rabbits out of the garden. Where do the rabbits go when Pepper starts barking? The rabbits run into their rabbit holes when Pepper starts barking. Why does Mr. Spencer say, "Good dog," at the end of the story? Mr. Spencer says "good dog" because he is happy that Pepper chased the rabbits from the garden. Let's review our learning targets one last time. I can read and sort words with tricky spellings, C representing the K and S sound. I can read and sort words with spelled C, CE, and SE. I can read Mr. Spencer and the rabbits and answer questions about key details in the story. I can read and spell one-syllable words containing spelling alternatives for the S and Z sounds and the tricky word here. Let's introduce our new spelling words for this week. Our spelling words this week use the spelling alternatives we have learned for the S and Z sounds. The first word is sun. The sounds are S, N, sun. The next word is kiss. The sounds are K, I, S, kiss. The next word is scent. The sounds are S, N, T, scent. The next word, prince. The sounds are R, I, N, S, prince. The next word is zip. Zip, zip. Next word is jazz. As, jazz. The next word, pigs. Pigs, pigs. And lastly, we have the tricky word here. Write your spelling words 3 times each and be sure to practice these because in the next 5 lessons you'll be taking a test. So let's summarize what we did today. I can read and sort words with the tricky spelling C. I can read and sort words with spelled C, CE, and SE. I can read Mr. Spencer and the rabbits and answer questions about key details in the story. I can read and spell one-syllable words containing spelling alternatives for the sounds S and Z and the tricky word here. Happy learning!